So you're going to click on the bookstore link. You're going to get there. You click on textbooks. Then you'll select the term. We're doing summer. You select the department. Okay. We're going to refresh here. Summer. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem to want to be working. There's no items in the shopping cart. So I'm not sure why it's, oh, there we go. I just didn't hit it in the right spot. Under physics, then you're going to do general physics lab. And you're doing the 272 section. And there it is, the IO lab device. You can rent it, you can buy it, you can click add to cart, or you can call if for whatever reason the bookstore links aren't working very well, you can call the bookstore. And it is at the Tonkawa bookstore. So the IO lab, which you're going to need for the labs and the next lab coming up, I want to make sure that you guys have the IO labs because we will be using them and you need to make sure that you have it. So that's how you access it. You go through the NOC bookstore. And again, you get to the NOC bookstore. I'll show you that real quick, but I also want to get you to the bookstore this way. The homepage, because you can call the bookstore. There is the phone number for the NOC bookstore. It's right there. But the easiest way to get to the NOC bookstore is to start with the NOC homepage, click on bookstore, and then follow the items through that page. Go through textbooks, look for the lab, get there. So that was one of the questions that folks had. Couple of other questions we will go through tonight. I had questions about dimensional analysis, when to use the equations. I do want to remind you about the baseballs in a drum. My answer, the answer I got was between 900 and 1,000. I accepted answers, anything over 600 to about 1,500, I accepted without question because it looked like you guys were on the right track. I did have a couple that you were off by an order of magnitude. And so I think I only detracted 1 point for that. So most everybody had that. I do want you to watch significant figures. I had at least one person, if not a couple, will tell me, you can't have 0.8 of a baseball. That's exactly correct. When you're doing estimates, you want to watch your significant figures. You're not going to get 900.25 baseballs in the drum. You got to work in whole baseballs. So watch your significant figures. You don't just give me everything that's on your calculator. And I know that is an issue on a couple of the homework problems in that WebAssign is asking for specific significant issues or specific significant figures. So you do want to make sure you're dealing with that. But otherwise, we're going to go through some of the other things that are there. So for the laboratory, you'll see that I've opened up 2 labs. Under laboratory, you have the installing and getting familiar with the IO lab. There's a folder right there for getting familiar with the IO lab. I've got unboxing the IO lab, installing the software for the IO lab, running and starting the application, and actually how you calibrate the device. So that should get you going with the IO lab. So get you kind of started. We will be talking more on Wednesday exactly about the next 2 labs, but if you want to get started on the next 2 labs, this laboratory will require the IO lab and it will be due May the 30th. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to get their IO lab. So you want to go ahead and make sure you've got it. If you're running into trouble, please let me know. But we'll be in week 3 of the semester starting next week. So we've got to get our IO labs done and working and on the way. The other lab is measuring gravity. This one does not require the IO lab, so that you could go ahead and get started on it. I'm having it due May 31st. But if you go in here for the laboratory matching, you'll see that I've already videotaped the discussions. I've given you the instructions with the graphs that you are to match. I have the acknowledge the receipt of the IO lab. I did have that due as of the 19th. And there were a couple of you that said, nope, you hadn't gotten it yet. I am not going to count those points against you. I will add those in. It's more for tracking who has the IO lab and who doesn't. So don't worry about the points for that. I will go in and get those points fixed. There is your
Oh, I haven't completed yet.
Oh, well, you can go ahead and get that completed in there as well. Don't worry about the points. I just am wanting to make sure that people have the IO lab. That's what that's there for.
Oh, thank you.
So you should be okay. All right. Then I've got a couple of different things in here. So you could get started, but we will review this on Wednesday. So you have that there. The measuring gravity, the overall experiment, basically what you're going to do is you're going to find an object that you can drop. All right. You're going to find an object you can drop. It could be a stuffed animal. It could be a rubber ball. It could be a book. You want to be able, you're going to video it with your cell phone. So you want something that's going to be easily trackable. I've had students use soccer balls. I've had them use stuffed animals. I've had them use a variety of things. You do have an experiment in there to follow. The experiment that is listed was written by AI, and there are some errors in the experiment. If you measure it in slow motion, you've got to verify your frames per second. I'm wanting people to start criticizing AI, so I have left the AI laboratory there. So there are some things that are not correct. So when you're writing up your laboratory memo for that one, you're going to want to say, okay, this didn't work, or this did work, or whatever. I will also let you know that some iPhone files, the HEIC files, or whatever video it takes it in, sometimes the Vernier analysis software doesn't like it. And I have somewhere, I think it's in here. I have somewhere under references and guides. Let's see if it's there. That's a problem solving strategy, laboratory resources. There is a free video to MP4 converter. The video analysis tool likes the MP4 converter or MP4 files better. And again, we'll talk more about this on Wednesday, but I know people are working, doing 100 other things. And if you want to get started, I want to make sure that you know where things are so that you guys can get started on the labs. But I do have a video analysis tool that you can convert those videos to MP4 files. But basically what you're going to do for the measuring gravity, it's pretty straightforward. You're taking a video of an object that's falling. You will need a reference marker because you're going to need your distance, and you're going to need that reference distance in order to do the experiment. And you're going to measure the acceleration due to gravity using your video. Historically, we used to do this with a spark generator. We had a piece of thermal tape and you put a magnetic marble or a ball bearing between a wire and the tape, and it sparked at various times and it sent the spark through the ball bearing and it created a mark on the tape, and you physically measured the distances between each dot. So you're doing the exact same thing, except we're doing with video instead of doing it with a spark generator device. That looked pretty intimidating. So you do have some helps that are there. So the next two labs, one will be due May 30th, one will be due May 31st. And as I said before, I don't care if you guys work together. It's easy to work together. That doesn't bother me at all. But you do want to write your own laboratory memos and you want to do your own conclusions associated from your memos. And I'm going to try and have your memos graded early this weekend so that you can see a graded memo and know where I'm marking off on things, so that you're not going to be surprised when you turn in your memos for next week. But knowing that we have a holiday weekend coming up, I wanted to make sure that people had an early opportunity to get started. So questions about where the laboratories are. And again, we'll go over this more in detail on Wednesday. Okay, seeing nothing popping up in chat. All right, couple of things. As I said, we're going to go through different pieces. All of the assignments, the links to WebAssign, the links to the quizzes, those assignments are in the assignments folder. Hang on, I got somebody that's joining us. Those are assignments in the assignments folder. And it looked like folks were getting all their assignments in. You do have a quiz coming up. The quiz is due later this week. The homework, the pre-work for chapter 3 is coming up. The homework for chapter 2. The chapter 3 homework, which includes projectile motion, it's not going to be due until next week, but your test for the material for chapters 1 and 2 and vectors is coming up this week. It will actually open on Thursday, opens on the 23rd, which is Thursday, and then it's due on the 26th. When you go into this, when this actually releases, what you'll do is you'll click on exam 1. And I don't mind showing you because it's a PDF file. You'll open up the PDF file. You're going to do, I'm holding you to doing your own work. I can't prevent you but I'm holding you to doing your own work. But because it is open book and open resource, I'm expecting you to use your resources. So there are a couple of problems in there that you're going to want to use Excel for. And I'm expecting to see the Excel file for the answer because it is open book, open resource. I'd like you to upload your work as a PDF so that I can see it as a PDF. And let me make sure. I'm going to go ahead and change this because sometimes it gets persnickety. Because sometimes what it does is it doesn't like you to add more than one file if I only give you one attempt. So it's whatever's in there, but I would prefer one PDF file, and you can use the scan or the CAM scanner to do it. And your test is due Sunday, May 26th at midnight, which of course is Sunday during Memorial Day weekend. So if you want to get it done early, more power to you. Get it done early and it can be taken care of. So that's the first exam. You're going to upload it. You get a PDF and you'll be able to do that. So that's just a heads up for what's coming up for the week. And we will be doing. Also, just a reminder, I have lots and lots of solutions and extra videos Here's a review of chapters 1 through 3. There are extra problems, review certain things. So you do have a variety of items here. You've got a variety of solutions, but I am going to go over a few other problems. So just about any questions about where things are, what's coming up this week. One other reminder in Blackboard, you can actually see what's coming up and when it's due. You can click on your date, scroll down, you see that there's pre-work and there's a quiz that's due. And you can actually see those in your calendar feature in Blackboard. You can actually change it from day to month, and you can see what's due as well. All right, hearing no questions, I'm going to stop recording.